His first appearance of the season is Frank Garces. It's be his third season with the Barrie Baycats. He was IBL Pitcher of the Year in 2018 and also pitched last year for the Baycats. In 5 appearances, he had a 2-3 record, 3.48 ERA. But you know, another year for Frank Garces to show his dominance over the rest of the IBL like he showed in 2018.
Home plate umpire is Jared Merkley. Ryan Jackson is at first, and Preston Hughes is at third. As the Baycats get their first look at Frank Garces this season, and it's a fastball, and it's a called strike. We're underway at 7:37 here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Another smoky day across Simcoe County and the Barrie area. The smoke not too bad right now. Temperature has really dropped this afternoon and into the evening as well. 15 degrees our game time temperature, and just a light wind blowing in and slightly from left to right. Nothing significant at the moment. Garces quickly ahead of Morello here, 0-2. Here's the pitch from the left-hander. On the ground at the shortstop. Backhanded nicely, and no play by Carson Burns. That one just sort of froze him. Gloved it cleanly, but unable to make a throw, and the Jackfish get their first batter aboard.
Yeah, Carson Burns really had no play on that ball, and he noticed as soon as he tried to make the turn to attempt the throw, it just wasn't any point in throwing it.
We'll give you the defense for the Baycats in a moment as Brandon Nicholson comes to the plate, the right fielder, with a man on and nobody out. Garces throws that one high. Showing bunt is Nicholson. It's a late called strike, and it's 0-1. We'll see if Nicholson shows bunt again here to try to get the speedy Morello up into scoring position. Morello being held on by first baseman Josh Tibbetts. Takes a big lead. Does not go. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
It's good to see from Garces so far. Through 2 batters, got out to an 0-2 count both times. Hopefully he can continue that, keep his pitch count down throughout the game.
The wind and the 0-2 delivery, and it's in the dirt. Blocked by catcher Josh Cote. Runner stays put. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 33-year-old right-hander from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. From the belt, checks the runner. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Nicholson frozen on the fastball, and there's one down. Let's look at the defense for the Baycats.
For Josh Matlow's Baycats in the field, there we got Noel McGarry-Doyle in left field, Kenise Ejo in center, Starlin Rodriguez back in the lineup in right field, Victor Plaus at third base, Carson Burns at short, Adam Ott at second base, Josh Tibbetts at first, Frank Garces on the mound with his battery mate Josh Cote behind the plate.
First pitch fastball for a called strike. Garces getting ahead of everybody here. 0-1 on Smybert. Morello is 1 for 3 in steal attempts so far this season. Leans back to the bag now. Does not go. Pitch is just a little low, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Gio Morello, the leadoff man aboard on an infield hit. Here's James Smybert batting with 1 out. Pitch from Garces on the way, and that one hit off the glove of Tibbetts, the first baseman, and it's into right field. Rounding second is Gio Morello. He'll hold up at third. Into second with a slide goes Smybert, and there are 2 in scoring position with 1 out for the Jackfish in the first.
Not a whole lot that Tibbetts could do for that. He made an attempt to jump for it. It just went off his glove, and looks like it landed in foul territory, but he was established himself in fair territory, so a fair ball right down the line.
So Garces, despite getting ahead of all 3 batters that he has faced so far in this first inning, has to pitch out of a jam here now with 2 in scoring position and 1 out for the cleanup man, Steve Moretto. First offering from Garces, and he starts him off with a strike. Make it 4 in a row. Those first pitch strikes are the signature mark of an ace of any IBL team's rotation, and Frank Garces, they're hoping he'll be exactly that for them here in 2013. Foul back to the screen, and he's ahead 0-2. Strikeout here would be exactly what Frank Garces and the Baycats need in this first inning.
Like you said, getting out to strong starts in your counts. First pitch strikes are extremely important, and now another mark of an ace is working through runners in scoring position jam.
0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2 strikeouts for Frank Garces in the first. And it brings Sam Cocker to the plate.
The catcher, number 16, Sam Cocker.
That's a huge strikeout. Steven Moretto has been mashing all year for these Jackfish. Maybe their most valuable player offensively so far this season, so a big out for Garces.
The Jackfish are smoking hot right now. They've won 6 in a row, tied with Toronto for first place heading into tonight's game. They have scored a staggering 49 runs in their last 3 games. First pitch on the way to Cocker. And again, a first pitch strike. So that averages out to 16 runs per game. Obviously, that's not sustainable over a 42-game season, but you got to think this lineup should be feared as much as Toronto and Kitchener and the other offensive powerhouses in the league.
Absolutely. The Jackfish have 3 of the top 10 hitters in the league in terms of batting average.
Called strike, and it's 0-2.
And Steven Moretto, who Garces just struck out, comes into this game with a 500 average this year through 6 games.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Frank Garces working to Sam Cocker. Takes a look in for the sign. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Frank Garces strikes out the side, and the Jackfish strand 2 in the top of the first. We're through a half an inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Scoreless as the Baycats come to bat. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Premier North Windows and Doors is a proud supporter of the Barrie Baycats, locally owned and operated, and specializing in window replacement and door installation. Simcoe County's #1 choice for windows and doors. Classic Car Wash, customizing your car wash experience using high-quality products. Their team of experts will make sure your car is shining like new when you drive away. Give your car the VIP treatment it deserves at Classic Car Wash in Barrie. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Julius Hern with Ben Davy at Vintage Throne Stadium as the Baycats come to bat. Let's look at the batting lineup tonight for Josh Matlow. Noel Gary Doyle is in left field batting first. Kenny Sejo in center field bats second. Starlin Rodriguez in right field bats third. Ryan Rio, the DH and cleanup man. Adam Odd at second, batting fifth. Josh Cote, the catcher, bats sixth. Josh Tibbetts, Victor Plaz, and Carson Burns round out the order for the Baycats here tonight. Scott Gillespie's first offering is a fastball and a swing and a miss by McGarry Doyle.
Scott Gillespie having a tough start to his year, but nonetheless, he's putting in some good innings for the Jackfish. 8.02 ERA through 3 appearances, 12 and a third innings pitched this year.
His fourth appearance of the season, all of them starts. Looking for his second win of the season here tonight.
Got the win in his last appearance at home to Brantford on June 1st. Went 6 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits, had 3 strikeouts.
Here's his pitch. High and tight, and the count is 1-2. McGarry Doyle, in a couple of games since rejoining the Baycats, has a .333 average, 2 for 5 against Kitchener on Sunday afternoon. Real spark plug at the top of the order for Josh Matlow. They're glad to have him back. Chops this one on the ground. Backhanded by the second baseman. Makes the off-balance throw, and it's high. And McGarry Doyle is aboard with an infield single. Let's look at the defense for the Welland Jackfish behind Scott Gillespie.
For the Jackfish in the field, Hogan Brown in left field, Gio Morello in center, Brandon Nicholson in right, James Smybert at third base, Luis Jean at short, Ethan Hunt at second base, Mateo Porcelato at first base, and Sam Cocker behind the plate catching Scott Gillespie.
Kenny Sejo, another late arrival to the Baycats here in 2023, but boy, are they excited to have him. 2 for 5 in Kitchener on Sunday. .286 start. First offering on the way to him, and he'll take it for a strike.
Kenny Sejo has had an extra base hit in each of his first 3 games with the Baycats this year.
Fans very excited about the top 4 in this Barrie lineup now with McGarry Doyle returning, Ejo in the number 2 spot. Then you've got Starlin Rodriguez and Ryan Rio following those 2 up. That's a potent top half of the order for Josh Matlow. Off speed, and it's high, 1-1. Bottom of the first, we are scoreless. Baycats with a man on here and nobody out. Checking the runner is Gillespie. McGarry Doyle with a big lead. Does not go. And that one just missed. 2-1 to Kenny Sejo.
Yeah, I tried doing that. I'm like, no, I can't. It's too hard.
Gillespie looks in for the sign. Gets the one he wants, and the 2-1 pitch, and that one's line foul down the right field line. Count even now, 2-2. Noel McGarry Doyle, last year, 23 stolen bases for the Baycats, more than triple anybody else on the team. Owen Jansen, a distant second, with 7. He is always a threat to run in any situation.
Really a 5-2 player and a great guy to have at the top spot in the lineup for this Baycats club.
Let's see if he goes on the 2-2. He does. Pitch is outside to throw down the tag, not in time. So it'll be a 3-2 count to Kenny Sejo, and Noel McGarry Doyle is standing at second base.
I think as soon as Cocker had to reach low for that ball, I think he had no chance. And as good as that throw to second base was, McGarry Doyle was getting in there easily with that feet first slide.
Starlin Rodriguez on deck. 3-2 the count here to Kenny Sejo. Check on the runner, and here's the payoff pitch. Low ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. And here comes Starlin.
Right fielder, number 4, Starlin Rodriguez.
Really great to see Starlin Rodriguez back in the lineup. He was hit by a pitch a few games ago and was shaken up. I think he was just kept out of the lineup just because of some swelling on his forearm, but great sight to see him back in the lineup today for these Baycats.
Only Baycat with 2 home runs this season so far, early on out of the gate, and he has 6 walks to lead the team as well. Not a guy you want to pitch to with 2 on and nobody out, but an important at bat here for the Baycats early in this ball game. Ryan Rio is on deck.
Third baseman Smybert playing in a little bit at third.
Well, let's see if the Baycats give up and out to move the runners up. Something that the Jackfish have to be mindful of as far as possibilities go. Gillespie to the belt. Checks his shoulder. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground, and it's past the second baseman, Ethan Hunt. It goes into center field. Rounding first is McGarry Doyle. He scores, and the Baycats draw first blood. It's 1-0 Barrie.
Designated hitter number 27.
Great piece of hitting there from Rodriguez, going right back up the middle with it. Finding the gap up the middle, and great heads-up base running there by Ijo. He made his way all the way to third from first base on that ball up the middle.
Now, Scott Gillespie could have knocked that ball down. He elected not to, and rather than try to make a play on it, and it was hit pretty hard. Let it get past him in hopes that his second baseman, Ethan Hunt, could get there, and it just didn't work out. And as a result, the Baycats are able to get on the board here.
Well, it seemed like Hunt was playing straight up at second base.
Runner goes. Here's a throw down and in safely. And now here comes the runner. Kenise Ijo to score. A delayed double steal, and it's 2-0 Baycats.
That looked like a fairly easy ball to pick up there at second base, and I think it was Ethan Hunt, the second baseman, went off his glove or off his hand and into center field, allowing Ijo to score and Rodriguez to get to third base.
I'm actually surprised Cocker even made that throw, because you know you've got a speedster standing at third base in Kenise Ijo. Rodriguez off with the first pitch. And as he was able to force that throw down, it gave Kenise Ijo plenty of time to come trotting home with the second run of the inning. Still nobody out.
Massive gap at the shortstop position. The shortstop, Gene, shifted over on the other side of second base.
Swing and a miss by Rio. Yeah, you don't see too many shifts in the IBL, but the Jackfish are doing it here to Ryan Rio.
And as much as you want to shade a pull side on a left-hand hitter, Ryan Rio's not the guy you want to do it to. He's extremely good at hitting the ball the other way.
Rio fouls out off left side. I believe they've given Sam Cocker a throwing error on that throw down to second base. So it's a 1-2 count to Ryan Rio. Baycats trying to do big damage here in the bottom of the first inning. Up 2-0. Rodriguez, the runner at third. Takes a pitch, and it's 2-2.
I talked to Ryan Rio a little bit before the game about his ability to hit the other way, and he said it was something his grandfather taught him as he was growing up playing baseball, and knowing that if you can go the other way, you're going to get on base more often than not as a left-handed hitter.
Got a piece to stay alive. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Rio. Well, Rio, one of just 2 Baycats with a double-digit hit total at this point.
And most of those,
Josh Cote.
most of those to the other way, like I said. And he also told me he recognizes that many pitchers don't want to pitch inside to a left-handed hitter, and when you get those outside pitches, that's what you're going to be able to do with them.
Lifted foul, third base side. Two nothing Baycats. Scott Gillespie with a leg kick, 2-2 pitch, high and outside. Rio working the count full here. This is turning into a laborious inning for Scott Gillespie. Rio steps out of the box and takes a deep breath as he gets ready for the payoff pitch on the way from Scott Gillespie. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Still nobody out here on the bottom of the first inning. Gillespie is set. Payoff pitch. Rio hits it to left field. Hogan Brown to his right makes the catch. Runner tags. Here's the throw from Brown. And it is not in time as Starlin Rodriguez crosses home plate. It's 3-0 Baycats.
Very productive at bat from Ryan Rio. Again, going the other way. And he hit that one deep enough to get Starlin Rodriguez to the plate. And I think with a better throw, Hogan Brown might have had a better shot at getting Rodriguez to the plate, but tough enough ask with the speed of Rodriguez.
6th RBI of the season for Ryan Rio. And it brings up the team leader in RBIs at this juncture, Adam Odd, who has 9. He'll bat here with the bases clear and 1 out. First pitch swinging, right side through into right field for a base hit. So Odd is aboard, and the 6th Baycat to bat in this inning will be Josh Cote.
Adam Odd, you came into last weekend on quite a heater, but he struggled a little bit on the road last week, and that's going to be a great boost for him to get another base hit at home. He's really solidifying himself in this Baycats lineup. Played almost every day this season so far.
3-0 Baycats. They're looking for more here in the bottom of the first inning against the Welland Jackfish. Pitch to Cote, and he's up there first pitch swinging. Lifts it high to center field. Gio Morello over in front of the right fielder makes the catch, and there's 2 outs. Here comes Josh Tibbetts.
Number 40, Josh Tibbetts.
Tibbetts, one of these guys Josh Matlow wants to see get going. He's been a little bit slow out of the gate. The rookie hitting 182 through 5 games. Hoping that it'll be just a matter of time before he has his big breakout night. Talented left-handed hitting first baseman, also used as a DH this year in tandem with Ryan Rio, and we're told can also pitch in certain situations if need be. He's behind here 0-1. Pitch from Gillespie, low and inside, blocked by Cocker. Dusts himself off. It's 1-1.
You mentioned he struggled a little bit. He has struggled a little bit to start this season, and I've seen him. He's hit the ball very well. He's hit the ball hard, and the times where he's had an extra base hit, they've come in pinch hit situations, not necessarily where he's in the order, seeing a pitcher 4 times in a game.
1-1 pitch, swing, and he foul tipped it into the glove. It's a strike, 1-2. Victor Plaz on deck. He would be the 8th batter to hit in this inning if Tibbetts can keep the inning alive. 1-2. Big pitch coming up from Scott Gillespie here. Here it is, and Tibbetts lifts it high, left side. Hogan Brown under it, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Baycats. But a 3-run bottom of the first inning puts them on top through 1. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
1 error, 1 runner left on base.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. 3-0 Baycats entering this top of the second inning. Our thanks to JC Unlimited Contracting for sponsoring our first inning. I'd like to talk a little bit about Frank Garces. I wrote an article about him and his experience professionally once the Baycats announced his re-signing with the club for this season. Pitched parts of 2 years in the majors, 55 appearances with the Padres in 2014 and 15. Pitched to a 4.60 ERA.
First pitch fastball is inside. That might be the first batter that Garces. Frank Garces behind here, 1-0 to Hogan Brown, and I think that's the first batter he's fallen behind on the first pitch tonight. Swing and a miss as he comes right back at him with the slider. And it's 1-1.
Like I mentioned, I wrote a little bit of an article featuring Frank Garces and his pro experience. You can read that on barriebaycats.com.
1-1 pitch, and it's low and away, and the count is 2-1 strike to left fielder Hogan Brown. These Welland Jackfish know Frank Garces. In fact, 2 of his last 3 starts have been against the Jackfish, and the 2 were both regular season games before Frank faced Toronto in the postseason, but those 2 starts couldn't have been more opposite. He had a 3-1, 9-inning complete game win here against the Jackfish on August 11th last summer. And the Jackfish really took it to Garces the next game in Welland on August 20th. So 9 days later, they faced Frank Garces and pounded out a 14-2 win. Garces pitched just 2 innings, allowing 5 earned runs before he got the hook. That game on August 11th, the 3-1 Baycat win, was an absolute masterpiece by Garces. Struck out 9, walked just 1. That was 2018 version of Frank Garces that night for sure. On the ground, second baseman up with it, throws it to Garces, covering. A nice play by the pitcher in time. Adam Odd had one option, and that was the pitcher as Tibbetts had come off the bag.
The second baseman at number 9.
That was a very well-coordinated defensive play by the Baycats there on the right side.
Yeah, it really was, because Tibbetts, came off the bag thinking he might have had a play on it, and he might have, but it got by him. Garces was moving to first base right from the time that ball came off the bat, and he was able to beat Brown by a stride.
And sometimes as a pitcher, especially if you're falling off towards third base, it's really hard to get back to first. And you remember that you have to cover.
That's a really great point, because that is a challenge for a lot of left-handed pitchers. Garces, the only lefty on this Baycats pitching staff. 2 balls and no strikes to second baseman Ethan Hunt. Very interesting with Garces last year. He was just hot and cold. He didn't really have enough time to sort of find his groove while he was here in Barrie in 2022. We mentioned that masterpiece 9-inning complete game 3-1 win against the Jackfish here at home, and then really struggled against the Jackfish the next time he faced them. Only had 1 playoff appearance against Toronto, and that didn't go very well for him, as he allowed 5 earned runs in a 5-3 loss. Right side, and the catch is made by Starlin Rodriguez, 2 down. Garces has retired 4 in a row, and here's Luis Jean.
You mentioned that playoff appearance for Garces against Toronto. Despite taking the loss in a 5-3 loss for the Baycats, he still went 8 innings and 11 strikeouts, gave up 11 hits, but those days are going to come sometimes. But it's great that he was able to keep his pitch count low and finish 8 full innings.
Has a reputation for an outstanding strikeout to walk ratio, and that's really been a hallmark of his career.
Wow.
39 strikeouts, 6 walks last season, and 11 strikeouts, 2 walks in his 1 playoff game. So you're right, he was strong that day despite allowing the 5 earned runs. To the shortstop. Gloved by Burns, makes the throw, and it's in time for the out. Bang, bang play, Burns to Tibbetts, and the Jackfish go 3 up, 3 down in the second. We're through an inning and a half. It's 3-0 Barrie. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ain't going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and
and
not
the score is James Henderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
Premier North Windows and Doors is a proud supporter of the Barrie Baycats, locally owned and operated and specializing in window replacement and door installation. Simcoe County's #1 choice for windows and doors. Classic Car Wash, customizing your car wash experience using high-quality products. Their team of experts will make sure your car is shining like new when you drive away. Give your car the VIP treatment it deserves at Classic Car Wash in Barrie.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. It's 3-0 Baycats heading into the bottom of the second inning, and it's sponsored by Wingin' It Restaurants, the great taste of adventure.
Beautiful night here at the ballpark. Despite the poor air quality advisory, we can see the sky, which is certainly a good thing. We were a little concerned about what the conditions might be like here tonight 24 hours ago, but it's turned out to be a really nice evening. Hopefully that air quality continues to improve as we head into the weekend. Certainly a concerning situation in northeastern Ontario and Quebec experiencing those wildfires right now. Our thoughts are certainly with all involved. Baycats up 3-0 here. Second inning. Inside, and the count is 2-0. Victor Plaz made his Baycats debut last week. Takes a strike, and it's 2-1. Fourth game for Plaz. .625 average, 5 hits in those 8 at-bats so far.
He's really had a great start. He's showing us very similar skill set to what Kines Ejo brings, but playing defense on the infield.
Swings and misses in the fastball, and it's 2-2.
He had a huge triple in Kitchener on Sunday.
This is a guy you would think of him as more of a top-of-the-order player than in the number 8 spot, but a nice luxury to have his bat down there near the bottom. Here's the 2-2 pitch. On the ground, over the mound. Second baseman, up with it. Throw over is in time for the out. Ethan Hunt with a nice play, and there's one away.
Shortstop, #3, Carson Burns.
Carson Burns in his 7th game of the season. .250 average. Will bat in the number 9 spot here in the bottom of the second inning. Baycats scoring 3 in the bottom of the first. Noel McGarry-Doyle, Kines Ejo, and Starlin Rodriguez all crossing home plate off Scott Gillespie in a very shaky bottom of the first inning for him. Here's the pitch. And it's up high, 2-0. It's the first of 6 regular season matchups for these teams. Jackfish won the season series last year, 4-2. And Welland was a perfect 3-0 at Welland Stadium. Scott Gillespie walks into the windup, and this one is lifted high, but it'll stay playable. The right fielder over, Brandon Nicholson. Foul territory, makes the catch. Long, loud out off the bat of Carson Burns. 2 away here in the second.
I think if Burns was maybe a little bit, like a tiny bit later, making contact with that pitch, that ball might have been barreled out of this ballpark. But he might have just got it off the end of the bat and was able to put it deep, but foul territory catch for right fielder Nicholson.
So 2 out, and we're back to the top of the order. Noel McGarry Doyle singled, stole a base, and scored the Baycats' first run in the bottom of the first inning. These teams meet again on June 24th. That's a Saturday night at Welland Stadium, 6:05 first pitch. 1-0 pitch. High and way outside. That one just got away from Gillespie, 2-0. Baycats off tomorrow, then it's a home-and-home with Kitchener this weekend. So the Panthers are here Saturday afternoon. That's a 4:05 game. And then both teams head to Jack Couch Park on Sunday. That game begins at 5:15. And a weird quirk in the schedule that has the Baycats and the Panthers scoring off 3 times in 4 games. Swing and a miss. 2-1, the count to Noel McGarry Doyle.
The Panthers themselves have an extremely busy schedule this week. They played Guelph in a makeup game on Tuesday night, and they play tonight, tomorrow, and both days this weekend.
Yeah, they get London tomorrow, I believe. Busy stretch of days for them. Boy, their offense looks good right out of the gate, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Raul Gonzalez is IBL Player of the Month. He's been mashing for the Panthers so far this year.
We know the Toronto lineup is very strong. We've been talking about Welland here tonight and their ability to score runs. And there are some pretty tough teams around the league that the Baycats are trying to keep up with here. McGarry Doyle lifts it to center field, reaching up, and over the head of Gio Morello it goes. Against the wall, he picks it up. McGarry Doyle thinking 3 all the way. Throw is cut off, head first slide, and he's in safely.
Center fielder number 9, Kenny.
So a clean triple for Noel McGarry Doyle. He's on base for the second time tonight, and here's Kenisi Joe.
I don't think the center fielder Morello played that ball correctly. If the ball's hit right at you, especially as a center fielder, you kind of want to wait on it a little bit because you don't have a very good depth of field seeing the ball when it's hit straight at you. You want to stay where you are or even move back because it's much harder to move back on a ball than it is to move in. And I think he was starting to move in the ball and then realized the ball was going to go over his head. So put him out of position right off the bat.
McGarry Doyle had 2 triples last season and 1 already here in 2023. That's an 0-1 count to Kenisi Joe. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Gillespie ahead here, 0-2 with 2 out. Ejo walked and scored in the bottom of the first. Behind 0-2 to Scott Gillespie. From the belt, the leg kick and the pitch on the way, and it's low, blocked by Cocker.
That was a nice block by Cocker. I think Noel McGarry Doyle was creeping right down the line, and if that ball got to the backstop, it might be a 4-0 game.
He is as good as they come around the IBL at blocking those pitches in the dirt. Count 1-2. Ejo waggles the bat. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove for a strike 3. So the Baycats strand the triple by McGarry Doyle at third. We've played 2, and it's a 3-0 Baycat lead. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and
and the score is James Henderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Top of the third inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Baycats on top by a score of 3-0. I'm Ben Davy, along with Julius Hern and our Baycats TV crew. Happy to have you along tonight for the broadcast on Rogers or YouTube. All 3 runs for Barrie coming in the bottom of the first, and now Welland up in the third with Mateo Porcelato coming to the plate for the first time tonight. Frank Garces has allowed just 2 base runners, both of them in the top of the first inning, and responded with back-to-back strikeouts to Steve Moretto and Sam Cocker. Got the Jackfish 3 up, 3 down in the second, and a 1-1 count to the number 9 hitter. That one got past Garces. He reached up and it ended up going by him, so trotting over to pick it up is the shortstop, Carson Burns, to flip it over to him. Mentioned the Jackfish riding a 6-game win streak coming into tonight. Tied with Toronto for first place. Wins over Brantford 22-7, London 12-11, and then Brantford again 15-4. So 49 runs in their last 3 games. I'm not sure when I can recall that happening for any team in the IBL. That's quite an impressive stretch. This one on the ground, and it'll get between the middle infielders and into center field. Third hit of the game for the Jackfish. One on here in the top of the third inning.
For the Jackfish, center fielder number 11, Gianfranco Morello.
So yes, 2 of those wins against the last place team in the league, but boy, the offense really caught fire last week. James Smybert, Brandon Nicholson, Hogan Brown, already double-digit hit totals. And I don't think this is a lineup that pitchers look forward to at all.
Their last game against Brantford in Brantford, they won 15-4. They put up 17 hits on the Red Sox.
Porcelato goes on the first pitch, and the throw is high, and he's in safely with a slide. It's a called strike to Porcelato, and a called strike to Morello, and a stolen base for Porcelato. So no 1 count to Gio Morello, but a man in scoring position here for the Jackfish. Garces' pitch, and it's low, off with the mask, and the throw down, not in time. Wow, great instincts by Porcelato on the bases. That one was low. Cote kept it in front of him. By the time he took his mask off, Porcelato was halfway to third.
You notice if you watch high-level baseball, like the best base runners are the ones that are able to take advantage of those tiny little mistakes, even something so slightly in the dirt like that ball, and Porcelato able to take advantage.
This team loves to run. Porcelato now with 4 stolen bases this season, and he's not leading the team. Luis, Jean, and Brandon Nicholson are tied with 5 steals each. Last year, the Jackfish racked up the stolen bases at a staggering pace.
The Jackfish coming into this game second in the IBL with 22 stolen bases as a team.
1-2 is the count here. Garces to Morello, and it's to third base, and it caroms off the glove of Plaza to left field. Jackfish score. That'll be E5.
That was a hard hit ball by Morello, and Plaz playing a tiny bit shallow. He was trying to hold the runner on a little bit with the only runner being on third base, and the ball just got up on him. It only took one hop and carried him in the left field.
And they changed it to a hit. It said error on the board originally. They've changed that to a hit. Runner goes, and the throw, it gets over the shortstop and into center field. Another base stolen for the Jackfish, and down to third goes Gio Morello. This team just runs and runs and runs. So the count 0-1 to Brandon Nicholson. Still nobody out here in the third. Boy, the Jackfish are efficient with their base runners. This one hits a left field and hit a ton. Noel McGarry Doyle back, and he's out of room. It's a 2-run homer for Brandon Nicholson, and just like that, it's a tie ball game, 3-3.
That ball hit right down the line, out in a hurry for Brandon Nicholson, and all of a sudden this ball game is tied. A couple errors can really add up. And
third baseman at number 23, James Smyber.
So a mix of speed and power, and the Jackfish are able to, in the span of 3 batters, turn a 3-0 deficit into a 3-3 tie. James Smyber is 1 for 1 today, takes a called strike. Garces had retired 5 in a row following Smybert's double in the first inning. Welland stranded both base runners that inning as Garces was able to pitch out of it. But the Jackfish exploding here in the third. Still nobody out. Garces slowing things down a little bit on the mound. He rocks into the windup now, the 0-2, and it's lifted foul to the left. Fans behind Frank Garces here, wanting him to finish off this at bat. Pitch fouled away by Smybert as he stays alive. 0-2 the count.
still nobody out here in this third inning.
Many fans who watched the Baycats in 2018 will remember Frank Garces's incredible season. 7 starts, he won all of them for the Baycats, allowing just 2 earned runs in 47 innings. One of the most dominant seasons, not only in Baycat history, but IBL history. Check swing. They will appeal. He did not go, says Preston Hughes.
That one was very close, and
looked like home plate ump Jared Merkley didn't want to make the appeal initially. He reluctantly did so. And they said that Smybert held his swing. 1-2 from Garces. Lifted foul again. That one lands near the Jackfish bullpen.
Looks like this inning's really starting to weigh on Frank Garces. Like I said, still nobody out. And this inning, it's only the 4th batter of this inning, but it feels like it's gone on for quite a while.
Cote puts down the sign. Garces nods his head. Rocks into his delivery. 1-2. And it's lined in a right center field for a base hit. So after scoring 3, it's like the Jackfish have the leadoff man aboard again. 4 straight Jackfish reaching base.
Designated hitter at number 15, Steve Moretto.
Steve Moretto will bat. In that 2018 season, we mentioned Garces winning all 7 starts. His ERA 0.38. That's 2 earned runs in 47 innings, if you do the math. Just a mind-blowing season. And the Baycats were so happy and fortunate to get him back last year and hoping for more great things here in 2023.
That 2018 season, he pitched 47 innings, had 58 strikeouts, only gave up 21 hits.
He's still only 33 years old. Center field, pretty shallow, coming in as Ejo. Makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. At 33 years of age, he's a veteran, but when you consider all of the experience he has had, pitching in Japan and at the big leagues as well with San Diego, as we mentioned earlier, this guy brings just a wealth of experience to the Baycats starting rotation. Obviously still has quite a bit left in that left arm.
He's been all over the place in his professional career as a pitcher. So we mentioned pitching in the majors, pitching in Nippon Professional Baseball in Japan. He also grinded through the majors before and after his major league experience, pitched in the Dominican Winter League as well, also pitched in the Mexican League a couple years ago.
Should stay on the infield. Josh Tibbetts over in front of first, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs here for Frank Garces. And Hogan Brown will come to the plate.
The left fielder at number 27, Hogan Brown.
Well, he's an important arm for the Baycats, and they certainly would love to see him return to some of that form that he showed in 2018. Left-handed arms are certainly at a premium around the IBL, and the Baycats have a pretty good one here with a whole lot of experience in Frank Garces. Struggling here in the third, but 2 outs now with a runner on. And here's the first pitch to Brown, and he's taking all the way. 1-0 the count.
In an inning like this where it feels like it's been going on for much longer than it should be, once you get that second out, the second out's a sigh of relief because you're like, hey, I only have to get one more.
1 ball and 1 strike. Brown grounded out to the second baseman to lead off the second. Lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. And it's lined over the third baseman, and it's a fair ball into left field. Gary Doyle sprints over for it. That's going to be a double for Hogan Brown. Smybert stops at third. So 2 in scoring position with 2 away.
Second baseman at number 9, Ethan Hunt.
The number 7 hitter, Ethan Hunt, will come to the plate. 8th Jackfish to bat here in the third inning. So the Baycats with a big inning in the bottom of the second, and now Welland responding with 3 here in the top of the third and looking for more. Garces to the belt. And the first offering to Hunt is on the way. And he's behind 1-0.
A few hard hit balls here by the Jackfish in this third inning, and no action as of yet in the Baycats bullpen, but curious to see if some guys maybe start moving around, loosening up, but not throwing just yet.
When he's on his game, Frank Garces is a guy who can give you 8 or 9 innings. We saw it last year. You don't want to give him the early hook if you think he's got his stuff, and he's battling back here with a 1-2 count. Ethan Hunt with a .429 average. Hot out of the gate for the Jackfish here in 2023. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a fly ball to right field. Going back is Rodriguez back at the wall. He makes the catch on the warning track. Jackfish score 3. They strand 2 in the third, and we're through 2.5 innings, tied at 3 here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
2 runners left on base.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats! BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Vintage Throne Stadium with Julius Hern. I'm Ben Davy. A 4-3 Baycat lead as Victor Plaz comes to the plate. We're talking in the top half of the inning about heckling, and you do hear some heckling here at Vintage Throne Stadium too. There's a couple fans in particular really like to get on some of the visiting players when they come here. It's not an easy park to play in if you're a road team, that's for sure. Christie Pitts in Toronto have the Bushmen. That's probably the gold standard for heckling in the IBL.
Absolutely.
Those fans that sit down the right or the left field line, on the Toronto side. I mentioned Robbie Grossman of the Tigers was one of the players that my brother and I really got on one game. And with a name like Grossman, you can have some fun with that. And we were on him for about 5 or 6 innings. He never once looked over his shoulder at us though, which kind of disappointed me. But right after the 6th inning, he comes out to left field. This is Robbie Grossman of the Tigers, and he's got his batting gloves in his back pocket, which he didn't have his batting glove in his pocket the whole game as Plaz goes down on strikes. And we took a close look, and I zoomed in with my phone to make sure I was seeing what I thought I saw. And Grossman had his batting glove in his back pocket with a certain finger extended up above the others. And you can guess which finger that was. He must have had a pen or a popsicle stick or something stuck in that particular finger. Deliberately chosen, I'm sure, to send a message to my brother and I and everybody in our section, I suppose.
That's incredible.
It was, I still have the picture on my phone. It was just a magical moment.
He's not playing for the Rangers, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think you're right, yeah. But unlike Cameron Mabin, the other player that we got on, who we think we got in his head a little bit and affected him, Grossman actually had a really good game that afternoon. Played very well, both at the plate and in the field. And the Tigers won that game, so he got the last laugh. The player-fan interaction is always fun at the ballpark. You see it around MLB parks all the time. 2-1 is the count to Carson Burns, the number 9 hitter. Two-one pitch, and it's fouled away. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You mentioned some fan interactions. We had a group of younger kids, youth baseball players, come up to the booth earlier right before the game, and looked like they had a bat, and it looked like it was signed by, golly, the whole team, I think. And they came up and they wanted our autographs too, and that was pretty surreal.
Yeah, that was really nice. Those kids certainly didn't expect that. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch on the way to Carson Burns, and it's low. The count is even. The count is full now, 3-2. I have a friend who was telling me about a trip he took to Fenway Park with a buddy of his, and they were on Ricky Henderson. The Red Sox were playing the Oakland A's that day, and Henderson was in left field, and they had really good seats kind of in the left field corner near the Green Monster at Fenway, and they were on Ricky all game, and Henderson didn't look over at them once all game. And then at some point in the ball game, a $20 bill blew out of this guy's hand. I think he was paying for a beer or something like this, and $20 bill blows out of his hand and lands in the field. and Ricky Henderson puts his head down, walks over, picks up the bill, looks over at the fan, blows him a kiss, and stuffs the bill in his back pocket.
That sounds like Ricky.
Ricky never turned down free money.
No.
Three and two the count here to Carson Burns. One out in the fourth. Gillespie with the pitch. On the ground and through into right field. Gillespie had retired 4 in a row prior to that single by Carson Burns. He's now 1 for 2 tonight.
Evan Souls continues to have some light throwing in the Barrie bullpen.
Noel McGarry Doyle is 2 for 2. Five for 15 coming into this game. Just his 4th game since rejoining the Baycats. A late arrival for Josh Matlow. And he's going to fit into this leadoff spot vacated by Jake Wilson, who was last year's leadoff man, quite nicely. Runner leads. And it's fouled away.
There's also some action in the Welland bullpen. Just working on some confirmation of who's throwing down there.
Burns at first, he has speed, 8 for 11 in stolen base attempts last year. Has a stolen base already this season. One out here in the fourth. Here's the pitch. Inside. Oh, Gillespie wanted that call. Didn't get it. 1 and 2. He thought he painted the corner. Good patience by Noel McGarry Doyle. Holding off on that 0-2 pitch. Waggles the bat. Feet wide apart in the batter's box. Burns the lead, 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled away. So Noel McGarry Doyle battling after being behind in the count 0-2. Four-three Baycats here in the 4th inning. Runner leads. The leg kick and the pitch. Swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for Scott Gillespie, and there's 2 down here in the 4th.
The center fielder,
I believe it's Brandon Underhill warming up in the Welland bullpen. He's listed as an infielder, but another guy who can give you some innings on the mound. And also Chris Cox has started to throw in the Barrie bullpen.
Cox was on the mound for that catastrophic 9th inning Sunday afternoon in Kitchener. He'll be anxious to get back out there on the hill again and erase that memory as quickly as possible. Really unfortunate outcome to that game for Cox and the Baycats, who led Kitchener going into that 9th inning. Cox came into the game with a couple of runners on, got 2 outs, but just couldn't close the door, and the Panthers walked it off in the 9th on a 2-run home run to end the game.
Heartbreaking for the Baycats. They were up 8-5 heading into that bottom of the 9th.
And the Baycats will get Kitchener here on Saturday afternoon, so a chance for some quick revenge. Runner goes. Throw from Cocker, not in time. Stolen base. Burns now has 2 on the season. And he's in scoring position with 2 out. Good crowd and a lively crowd here at Vintage Throne Stadium tonight on this Thursday evening in June. Very chilly for this time of year. Lots of jackets and hoodies on around the ballpark tonight. Check on the runner. And the 1-1 pitch. High and tight. That one brushes Ejo back, and it's 2-1.
Can't play July 10:30, I think. 10:45.
I'm surprised the bugs here at Vintage Throne Stadium haven't gotten as bad as they're known for being so notorious throughout the year, but
They come out earlier and earlier in the ball game as the season unfolds. You wait till mid to late August, and they'll be out here biting nice and early. But chilly night tonight. 15 Celsius was our game time temperature. We're going to stay at around that for the game 14. We've actually lost a degree, but mid-teens, not really typical for a June night here at Vintage Throne Stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Pitch from Gillespie. Swung on and missed. Jackfish are off the field. No damage done. We've played 4 at Vintage Throne Stadium. Baycats still on top, 4-3. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and that's
and the score is James Henderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
Premier North Windows and Doors is a proud supporter of the Barrie Baycats, locally owned and operated and specializing in window replacement and door installation. Simcoe County's #1 choice for windows and doors. Classic Car Wash, customizing your car wash experience using high-quality products. Their team of experts will make sure your car is shining like new when you drive away. Give your car the VIP treatment it deserves at Classic Car Wash in Barrie.
We're back live at Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. Thursday night baseball with the Barrie Baycats up by a run, 4-3 over the Welland Jackfish. And on the mic to call innings number 5 and 6 for us, my broadcast partner tonight, Julius Hern.
thank you very much, Ben. This 5th inning brought to you by Ital Paving. For all your residential, commercial, and industrial paving needs, providing quality service for almost 40 years because you deserve the best. Frank Garces back on the mound. His first pitch low, right through the wickets of Josh Cote. 1-0.
On the broadcast tonight, you're probably also hearing the voice of Patrick Melbourne. He's our fill-in public address announcer tonight. So even though he's not on the broadcast mic, you're still hearing him in the background. Try to get rid of Patrick, but we just can't. He's always finds something to do around here.
1-1 now. And
Usually on a microphone, too.
1-1 now, and that foul back to the screen. Baycats in their throwback Thursday uniforms. Red jerseys, white pants. That ball skied into center field, but Ejo settles under it for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, VMF Sportswear, the new official jersey provider for the Baycats. We've talked about them all season, and we'll probably continue to do so because those uniforms are just so sharp. And a nice nod to the throwback Baycats era on Thursday nights with the red unis again this year, and the additional feature of the player's surname on the back, which is a first for Baycat player uniforms. So looking good, and the fans love those names as well. It really gives you an idea to learn who the players are, especially the new guys.
First pitch in there for a strike. Yeah, it really gives the fans an opportunity to kind of give themselves some kind of attachment to the players. Get to know guys' faces, especially if they're going to be here for a long time.
I'm so glad throwback jerseys have made a renaissance of sorts. It's kind of been revitalized, not only here in the IBL, but around Major League Baseball, too. You see teams wearing, I love the old White Sox throwbacks that they started wearing a couple of years ago, kind of the Shoeless Joe era. Do you have a favorite MLB throwback uniform?
Ooh, I mean, those Sox Field of Dreams ones were pretty cool a couple years ago. Not too sure. I really like the baby blue Phillies with the maroon 80s Phillies logo. I think that one's really sharp. 1-2 count on James Smybert. Lines that one into right center field, but over to make the catch is Starlin Rodriguez, 2 down.
San Diego Padres brought back the brown and yellow a few years ago and actually made that their permanent uniform. It was such a classic look back in the 80s. Lettering a little bit different, but sometimes what's old becomes new again, and fans fall in love with it all over again and the history that goes with it.
I thought that was a very smart and well done redesign and rebrand.
Yeah, I mean, that color scheme was unique to the Padres. No other team has that. And they had a navy blue and gold, I think, for maybe a decade or so. And that was sort of their new look, but not nearly as much history and nostalgia with that as the brown and yellow.
They only made the playoffs a couple times with that navy blue look. As 1-0 here to Steven Moretto. Popped up, and it's going to get out of play. One thing about this ballpark, all IBL ballparks for that matter, all the kids really start racing for those foul balls out of play.
Yeah, a ton of kids here tonight, and you're only going to see more and more kids on these weeknight games once the summer vacation arrives in a couple of weeks. Kids will be out of school, and bedtime gets a little bit later in the evenings.
I went low and away to Moretto, 2-1. This is a great ballpark for kids with all the open areas, especially down the lines. There's some open grass areas, and great for the kids to play catch or just run around. It's a great time for them to be at the ballpark. Moretto lines that one into the left center field gap, and McGarry Doyle will make the catch to put away the Jackfish here in the 5th. 4-3 Baycats heading to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Baycats tickets are now available for every game at Vince Stadium this season, with options for group tickets, corporate tickets, the Legends Lounge, and the Baseball Buddies program. Head to BarrieBaycats.com. Look at the ticket menu to buy online.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and that's
and the score is James Henderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Starlin Rodriguez to lead off this bottom of the 5th for the Barrie Baycats. They lead the Welland Jackfish 4-3. Rodriguez, Rio, and Adam Odd 3 up to start this bottom of the 5th inning. And Scott Gillespie still on the mound for the Welland Jackfish. First pitch in there for a strike. Rodriguez looked like he was taking that one all the way. The 0-1 pitch. Another called strike. Rodriguez kind of checked his swing and then let go of the bat. But
both these starters have really settled down nicely, Julius. Gillespie's case, he's now retired 6 of his last 7. And Garces has retired 7 in a row following that big 3-run third.
Yeah, once you really start getting in a groove and settling down, the outing gets much easier, even as your pitch count gets higher and get further into the game. 1-2 pitch to Rodriguez, low and away, 2-2.
This is a big game for Gillespie too, his 3rd start of the season, looking to try to really solidify his spot, probably as the number 3 in this rotation for the Welland Jackfish. Jake Harford being the ace of the rotation, of course.
That ball up and now full count to Starlin Rodriguez.
Good chance for him tonight to get that ERA down a little bit and hopefully for the Jackfish nail down that 2nd win of the season.
He came into this game with an 8.02 ERA on the year in 3 appearances, 12 in the 3rd inning. Payoff pitch from Gillespie. The ball popped out of play, foul.
Love the way Rodriguez battles through these at-bats with 2 strikes on him. We've seen him do it time and time again this season, and oftentimes is able to make the pitcher pay for having to go deep in the count. Battling hard here with a 3-2 count.
He's very good at picking and choosing his spots to take a pitch. He knows what part of the count to, and he's got a great eye. And that ball down and away. And a leadoff walk to Starlin Rodriguez to start off this 5th inning for the Baycats.
Yeah, it's amazing how many walks he draws for a guy with his power and potency at the plate. Not a high strikeout guy, very patient at the dish, and that patience paid off there with the leadoff walk.
This is Rodriguez's first game back since he was hit by a pitch last weekend here against Guelph. Last Thursday, pardon me. And coming into that game, he had 5 walks in his last 2 games going into that game. And even the hit by pitch, he's just an on-base machine this year so far as Rio steps in. Rodriguez goes. And sliding in feet first, and he's gunned down by the catcher, Sam Cocker.
It looked like he might have lost his balance just a little bit on that jump. He sort of had the arms flailing. It wasn't really a clean break off that. He had a good-sized lead, and he didn't trip, but he just sort of the way he was waving his arms a little bit, it didn't look like a typical Starlin Rodriguez stolen base attempt.
Yeah, I don't think he got off on the right foot. No pun intended or anything, but now 2-0 to Ryan Rio.
Just that little subtle balance struggle there on those first couple of steps were enough to just get him a little bit behind, and that good strong throw by Cocker just nabbed him.
I think he might have pushed off his trailing foot rather than his right foot, which would be his lead foot. .20 pitch. And that ball inside for ball 3. A 3-0 count now to Ryan Rio. I wonder if he's going to be given the green light here by third base coach Andrew White. I don't imagine he would, considering Rodriguez got walked and now 3 straight balls. And he is given the green light. He swings and misses.
I asked Ryan if he could magically add any current Major League ball player to this 23 Baycats roster, who he would pick. He said the obvious choice would be Shohei Ohtani, the Japanese sensation for the LA Angels. But aside from Otani, who he thought was the obvious choice, Rio said he'd love to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as a member of the Baycats. It won't happen, of course, but if he did play here, I pointed out to Ryan it'd be awfully hard for him to get in the lineup being a first baseman DH with Vladdy on the same team.
Payoff pitch to Rio, and he's fouled off out of play.
And Rio said that's okay. He'd take over as manager for Josh Matlow. Rio is an insurance salesman, got his license to be an insurance broker over the winter. And Rio said he'd probably be busy with insurance claims from cars on Highway 26 getting hit with Vladdy's home run balls over that left field fence. We always worry about traffic on Highway 26 whenever a home run to left field is hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a lot of room out there.
I wonder if the home run by Nicholson earlier in this ball game managed to get its way onto the road there.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Full count pitch, popped up along the third baseline, but it's going to drop foul.
Yeah, just sliced that pitch a little bit. Good swing, couldn't connect though. Rio will try to straighten that out a little bit on the 3-2 here. Let's see what he gets. We have the addition of outfield bleachers this year at Vintage Throne Stadium, so you can actually sit out there in hopes of snagging a home run ball.
And nobody out there tonight, but seen the last couple home games, some fans been congregating out there and enjoying the view.
It's a great view through the chain link fence. It's a really nice, nice spot to sit.
Another payoff pitch to Ryan Rio. On the ground to short. Easy play on to first. And the second out of the inning.
Took a whole lot of pitches to get Ryan Rio there.
Second baseman, number 26.
He's very good at fighting them off, and like I keep stressing, he knows when to go the other way, so when it doesn't work out for him, it's just going to be another foul ball. Extending the pitch count is another way to make your at-bat successful. As Adam Odd steps in with 2 out. Inside for ball 1. On lines into center field, going back on it, and making the catch is Gio Morello to end the inning. Baycats maintain a 4-3 lead. Head to the 6th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Fans, this is your last call for 50-50 tickets as it ends at the
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. Top of the 7th here, the Baycats lead the Jackfish 4-3. Thanks to Beating the Odds Autism Center and Farm for sponsoring our 6th inning. This 7th inning is brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca. Now back on the mic, Mr. Play-by-Play man, Ben Davy.
Thank you, Julius, as we head to the top of the 7th inning. This game officially 2 hours old now, and we're 2/3 of the way through the game. So on pace for a 3-hour game here tonight. First pitch from Garces is a called strike. I'd be really interested in what the response would be from IBL fans and Baycat fans should the pitch clock be implemented here in the Intercounty Baseball League. We've talked to players and mixed reactions all around. I mean, it's pretty much a 50-50 split from guys that I've talked to. But I wonder if a lot of the fans might enjoy a faster pace of game, maybe a shorter game, get some of these games in, 2:15, 2:20 rather than 3 hours, which seems very common here in the Intercounty League. Haven't seen too many 3-hour games in the big leagues this season. In fact, not only are the games shorter, but attendance is up at virtually every ballpark, other than a couple of exceptions. But
You mentioned the mixed reaction from players. I think that was also the case in the majors, but I think now that they've gotten into it, they're used to it. I think now the reception is more positive once they have some experience with it.
Fouled away, and the count is 1-2.
But as a fan, I'm not opposed to it. I think I was for it like a few years ago before it was announced. I was like, they need something like a shot clock like they have in the NBA to.
Well, I like it when the game really slows down in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, especially if it's a close score. I don't mind the pitcher taking his time out there, especially with base runners. But through the first 6 innings, there's a called strike. Frozen at the plate is Porcelato. One out here on the 7th. I've only been to one Major League game so far this year, and I didn't mind the tempo of the game. It was, I think about 2:25 was the time of the game, and it had a really good pace to it. Also, as a fan, your attention level is more likely to be focused on what's happening on the field if things are moving along at a decent pace out there. Probably be a while before we see it here in the IBL, though, if ever, but they need the clocks installed and the technology for it, so that's one of the new Major League Baseball changes that probably won't happen here anytime soon.
Now, I haven't been to a Major League game as a spectator yet, but I'm sure it's probably going to make me feel like I've barely been there.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Well, I've heard from a lot of fan response that, especially those who choose to have some beverages at the game, they feel like they're not having enough time to enjoy everything around the ballpark, and especially when you see all the renovations at Rogers Center. Maybe some of the fans are going there to see what's new around the ballpark, and if they're getting there right around first pitch, they might not have enough time see all the sights.
Yeah, I heard that some major league stadiums actually changed the cutoff inning for serving alcohol. They actually moved it by an inning or two because they weren't selling enough. Fans were getting upset about it.
Now, I originally thought that the 7th inning last call was a major league rule, but you started seeing individual teams change that on their own. I think Milwaukee was the first one.
Called strike, and Morello had tossed the bat. He was halfway to first base. And a late call by Jared Merkley, who does not make those strike calls quickly. Morello is in a hurry to get down that first base line, and now someone's been tossed from the Welland dugout. I believe it's been manager Brian Essery. Essery's out to talk with the umpire, who's going to walk down to the first base side. He wants no part of it. And one of the Welland coaches is out there giving him an earful. The first base umpire, Brian Jackson, will now actually walk towards the Welland dugout. And I'm not sure if it was Essery or one of the coaches that got tossed. Pat Casey, Todd Gowan are the two coaches for the Jackfish. Somebody got the heave-ho, however.
I believe that was Brian Essery. Home plate umpire Jared Merkley, notorious for having these late strike calls. Seeing it here once before this season at Vintage Throne Stadium.
Let's see if it fires up Morello. Swing and a miss! And Josh Cote with a little extra zip on that throw to third base as they toss it around the bases. How about that? Morello was up there swinging for the fences, ready to make a statement after being hauled back. And it looks like this might be the end of the line for Frank Garces, and it will be. Josh Matlow has signaled to the bullpen. Right-hander will come in, and you're going to hear a nice ovation from the fans here at Vintage Throne Stadium for Frank Garces, as he'll hand the ball over to his manager and hold his head high as he heads off the mound here in his Baycat debut. Let's listen in. Three Baycats in the 7th as we go to the bullpen, and we'll take a short break and be back. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Oh, it's probably the third base coach, because that's Essery there at third. Evan Souls on the mound for the Baycats, and it's a 4-3 lead. 2 out here in the 7th, and we can confirm it was not Brian Essery ejected. It was one of the assistant coaches, I believe the third base coach, because Essery's still on the field, and he's behind the bag at third, handling duties there. So what a night for Frank Garces, 6 2/3. Welland with 3 runs on 7 hits off Garces tonight.
Evan Souls on the mound now. Had a rough outing his last time out at Guelph, but a 4.58 ERA on the year over 4 appearances, 1 start. Was IBL Pitcher of the Week the first week of the season. 17 2/3 innings so far this season, 22 strikeouts, and a 1-0 record.
Over the screen, that's well out of play. Bounces just behind the metal bleachers.
Souls last time out at Guelph on Saturday went 2 1/3, gave up 4 earned runs. He had 6 strikeouts. Only gave up 1 walk, 5 hits. But
Off speed and a swing and a miss by Nicholson. What a job by Evan Souls after falling behind in the count 2-0. Comes back and strikes out Brendan Nicholson for the 3rd out of the 7th. We're through 6.5. Baycats up 4-3. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and that's
and the score is James Henderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
Premier North Windows and Doors is a proud supporter of the Barrie Baycats, locally owned and operated and specializing in window replacement and door installation. Simcoe County's #1 choice for windows and doors. Classic Car Wash, customizing your car wash experience using high-quality products. Their team of experts will make sure your car is shining like new when you drive away. Give your car the VIP treatment it deserves at Classic Car Wash in Barrie.
welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium, bottom of the 7th here in Barrie. If you're just joining us, the runs came in bunches earlier in the ball game. Bottom of the 1st, Baycats scored 3 on a Starlin Rodriguez RBI single. Kenise Ejo scored on an error, and Ryan Rio had a sacrifice fly. Top of the 3rd, Morello with an RBI single for the Jackfish, and Brandon Nicholson, the 2-run home run. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Baycats took the lead on an Adam Oz sacrifice fly.
And Brandon Underhill out for his 2nd inning of work. Did a really nice job coming on in relief of Scott Gillespie, who worked 5 innings tonight after yielding a leadoff single to Josh Cote. Underhill struck out the rest of the Baycat lineup. Popped up left field. And the catch is made by the left fielder, Hogan Brown.
Center fielder, number 9, Kenny.
And McGarry Doyle is 2 for 4 tonight. Here's Kenise Ejo, who has struck out in his last 2 at-bats. So a really nice bounce-back outing for Underhill so far tonight. Trying to bounce back from that shaky game that he had at Christie Pitts in Toronto in his last appearance. He lasted just 2/3 of an inning.
Ejo looking to continue a little bit of a hitting streak he has so far and started the year with the Baycats. He's had an extra base hit in each of the games he's played so far this year.
Has yet to put the ball in play tonight, and he chases a high fastball. It's 0-2. Walked and scored Barrie's 2nd run in the bottom of the 1st inning. 4-3 Baycats. A sac fly by Adam Waugh holding up so far. Been a pitcher's duel since the 3rd. The wind and the delivery from Underhill. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Kenise Ejo tonight.
The right fielder, number 4, Starlin Rodriguez.
Starlin Rodriguez has been on base all 3 of his plate appearances. He's had 2 singles, scored twice, and he had a walk in the 5th inning but was caught stealing. Definitely the kind of guy you want up with 2 outs.
Pitch on the way from Underhill. And he fouls it at home plate, 0-1.
Just based off the swing there by Rodriguez, he was really looking to put a charge into that one. Whipped around on his follow-through.
Well, we're told that it was Coach Scott Johnson that was ejected following that heated exchange with Gio Morello as he thought he had drawn a walk and had to come back after going halfway to first base. Morello would strike out on the next pitch. Lifted foul, right side, count 0-2 to Starlin Rodriguez. Underhill has retired 5 in a row since giving up a single to Josh Cote in his first batter. Ryan Rio on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here in the 7th. 4-3 Barrie. Rodriguez waggles the bat. Here's the pitch from Underhill. Swung on and missed. Tag is applied, and the Baycats go 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. Through 7, Barrie 4, Welland 3. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Carrington comes in, and the
Hard body, and that's
and the score is James Anderson, and the Baycats win.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Julius Hern with Ben Davy on our Baycats TV crew on a chilly night at Vintage Throne Stadium. Baycats up 4-3 over the Welland Jackfish, their first appearance here in this 2023 season. First of 6 matchups for these clubs. Welland taking the season series last year 4-2. Baycats looking to start it off with a W here in 2023. Some defensive changes for the Baycats. James Anderson takes over for Josh Tibbetts. At first base, Marcella Cass, the new third baseman for Victor Plaz. Due up for Welland here in the 8th, James Smybert, Steve Moretto, and Sam Cocker.
Smybert, 1 for 2, hit a double in the first inning and a walk.
This one hit high, center field. Easy catch for Canisijo. Evan Souls out for his second inning of work, taking over for Frank Garces. Steve Moretto tonight 0 for 3.
Moretto came into this game batting .500, which is first in the IBL.
Seen a lot of fly balls tonight, and the ball is not really carrying. One home run, that was a moonshot by Brandon Nicholson, but the rest of them have held up there tonight. And I wonder if some of this smog, dense air has had anything to do with that. Thick, smoky air over the area here this week. Curveball, and he couldn't get it over. It's 2-0.
Well, sometimes you're just going to get nights like that regardless of the conditions. You're going to get more so in humid conditions with more moisture in the air.
That one hits the facing of the Welland dugout on a bounce. Everybody ducking out of the way. Count is 2-1 to Steve Moretto, the DH.
Three Jackfish hitters are in the top 10 in batting average in the IBL.
Close but no cigar, 3-1 to Steve Moretto. Moretto off to a great start here in 2023. And he hits this one high and deep and gone. Look out on Highway 26. A long, loud solo shot for the Welland DH, and we have a 4-4 tie.
That ball was very nearly foul. It was slicing right down that left field line. Just barely saying foul. So saw some members of the Jackfish dugout come out and kind of point that one into fair territory.
Had to wait before making the call because right on that line, you never can be sure. This one hit high and hard as well towards the gap, sprinting over Ejo. He'll take it for the out. Funny, we just said the ball wasn't carrying very well, and Steve Moretto showed us exactly what he could do with one. He got a hold of it and gave it a ride. Hogan Brown, the left fielder, will come up now.
Souls has been leaving his fastball up just a little bit this inning. He struck out Nicholson to end the 7th, but 3 hard-hit balls so far here in the 8th.
And it's a secondary note to the game itself, of course, but sadly Frank Garces will not pick up a win here in his 2023 debut. With a 4-4 tie now. Swing and a miss. Big rip by Brown. Couldn't connect. It's 1-1. So this game now belongs to the relievers. Evan Souls for Barrie and Brendan Underhill for the Jackfish. Great ball game here tonight at Vintage Throne Stadium. Shows bunt, pulls it back, it's a strike. Wouldn't expect a bunt with 2 outs, but Hogan Brown keeping the Barrie infielders guessing. They were not in position at all. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one hit towards the center fielder. Ejoy, it'll drop in front of him. Base hit for Brown. Ejoy had to make a quick decision whether he was going to charge in for that or play it on a hop. He elected to wait, and it'll keep the inning alive. Well, that's a tough call for an outfielder. You got to make a quick decision there. You don't want the ball getting by you. That's the worst thing that could happen. Ejo decided to concede the single rather than make any sort of diving attempt for that ball.
I think he definitely made the right play there. You're only conceding one base, and you're keeping a force play in play with a runner on first. And you're really not giving up much. The risk reward there is just you're not getting enough return on investment if you're going to lay out for that ball.
Ethan Hunt now will try to capitalize on that as the inning continues. Steve Moretto's solo home run to left field, tying this game. Runner goes, throw goes into center field. It's a called strike. Brown now in scoring position.
Heads up play by Carson Burns there to back up Adam Ott at second base. If that ball got by both of them, it might be a runner on third base right now.
This Welland team can kill you with a 1-2 punch of speed and power, and we're seeing it both here in this 8th inning. And now a mound visit as catcher Cote will come out for a chat with reliever Evan Souls. Huge at bat in this ball game.
There is action in the Barrie bullpen. Can't quite confirm on who it is yet.
Hunt tonight 0 for 3. Did manage to reach on an error. Couldn't get any further, though. Evan Souls looks in for the sign. Comes set. Checks the runner. The leg kick and the 1-1. First base side, and it's picked up by Anderson. Sprints to the bag in time for the outs. Baycats are off the field, but not before Steve Moretto parks one and ties this game with one swing of the bat. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Welland Jackfish 4, the Barrie Baycats 4. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! Two out, runners lead. There they go. Here's the pitch. This one rocked to right field.
Want to come to a Baycats game? Check out our tickets at barriebaycats.com.
Score at least 2. Tuck is in to score. Rio behind him.
Bottom of the 8th inning. We're at Vintage Throne Stadium. Ben Davy, Julius Hern, and our entire Baycats TV crew. And this is a nail-biter between the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats. Barrie getting 3 in the bottom of the 1st inning. Welland tying it up. Barrie back on top 4-3. And now a 4-4 tie, courtesy of a solo home run by Steve Moretto in the top half of this inning. Brandon Underhill in a real groove here for the Welland Jackfish on in relief of Scott Gillespie tonight. He has retired 6 in a row, 5 of them strikeouts. This is about the biggest mismatch in size that you could find in the IBL. Brendan Underhill facing Ryan Rio. It's like David versus Goliath out there. Goliath swinging the wood right now, hoping to get a hold of one. 0-2 pitch. On the ground, second base. Scooped up easily by Hunt. The throw to first in time for the out.
Brandon Hillier in the bullpen for the Barrie Baycats. He's warming up. Looks like just to be just about ready.
26, Adam
Panama drove in what at the time was the go-ahead run for the Baycats in the bottom of the third inning. A long sacrifice fly to center field to bring home Starlin Rodriguez. That put Barrie back on top, and they were able to hold that lead until the top of the eighth. A one-run lead is typically not going to hold up very long against a team like the Welland Jackfish. This is a hard team to beat unless you can add some insurance markers, and the Baycats were unable to do so far. Called strike to Odd, and that has him doing a double take.
Baycats have had a couple leads in this game, but haven't been able to keep them for much long.
A high fly ball to left field, and it's an easy play for Hogan Brown. Two quick outs for the Baycats here in the eighth.
The catcher, number 5, Josh Cote.
Catcher Cote now for Barrie. Baycats really making it look easy for Brendan Underhill here in these late innings. 3 strikeouts in the 6th, 2 strikeouts in the 7th, and now a quick ground out and a fly out here in the 8th. It's amazing how often you see pitchers really struggle one game, they come back out, and they suddenly seem to have it all figured out, and that seems to be the case with Brendan Underhill. Coming off that relief outing in Toronto where he really struggled, pitched just 2/3 of an inning tonight, doing the job for his manager and his teammates. Important middle innings here, and now into the late innings of this game. Back to the screen, it's fouled away. 0-2.
Michael Mueller is warming in the Welland bullpen, and I also saw Chris Boato up there. He was looking like he was ready to go.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. They appeal at first. He did not go. Ryan Jackson, the first base umpire tonight on the appeal. Josh Cote will get another chance with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from Underhill. Fouled away. A reminder, the Kitchener Panthers are here Saturday afternoon, and it's a 4:05 game, so bring your sunblock and maybe your umbrella if you want a little bit of shade. Weather looks really good for the weekend. And we're expecting a good crowd here for the Kitchener Panthers. And a rematch of Sunday afternoon's game, this time in Barrie. Here's the 1-2 pitch. On the ground, weakly and foul.
Josh Cote came into this game as a pretty hot hitter. He had a huge pinch hit double on Saturday at Guelph. Then it had a massive home run in Kitchener on Sunday. And he's 1 for 3 in this ball game with a single in the 6th inning. He's been able to work Underhill to a high pitch count here in this at-bat.
Yeah, Cote and Ryan Rio, as we mentioned earlier, the only 2 Baycats with 10 or more hits coming into today's game, and Cote lifts this one. Left center field, could be trouble, and the ball is caught. And it was the center fielder sprinting over, Gio Morello, to make that catch. Some quick communication between him and Hogan Brown, but the Jackfish make the catch. And the Baycats 3 up, 3 down in the 8th inning. What a job of pitching by Brandon Underhill tonight. We go to the 9th in a 4-4 deadlock. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Premier North Windows and Doors is a proud supporter of the Barrie Baycats, locally owned and operated and specializing in window replacement and door installation. Simcoe County's #1 choice for windows and doors. Classic Car Wash, customizing your car wash experience using high-quality products. Their team of experts will make sure your car is shining like new when you drive away. Give your car the VIP treatment it deserves at Classic Car Wash in Barrie. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Tie ball game heading into the 9th inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. 4-4 between the Jackfish and the Baycats. The 8th and 9th innings are brought to you by Expedia Cruises in Barrie, air, land, and sea vacations.
Third pitcher of the night for the Baycats will be right-hander Brandon Hillier. Evan Souls making just one mistake in relief for Frank Garces tonight. That was a solo home run by Steve Moretto to tie the game. Garces worked 6 2/3 tonight. An inning and a third of relief for Souls. And now Hillier will make his 6th appearance of the season, all of them in relief.
Hillier's had a great year so far. 5 appearances, 5 innings total.
Into center field. It drops for a base hit. Hillier, one of only 2 Baycat pitchers who have yet to allow an earned run. Christian Mullen, the other, who has worked just 2/3 of an inning before he was pulled from the game due to an injury. That was the night Evan Souls came on in relief and went the rest of the way in a masterful emergency relief appearance.
Hillier had the huge save on Saturday afternoon at Guelph.
Full conference on the mound. It'll include catcher Josh Cote and the entire infield in to talk to Hillier, with Mateo Porcelato at the plate. He'll be ready for the bunt, I'm sure. Jared Merkley out to break it up.
It's a very important conversation. The Jackfish here have a lot of options. Runner on, nobody out. Like you said, a bunt's definitely in play here, especially when you only really need 1 run here to take the lead this late in the ball game.
Top of the order on deck, Gio Morello and then Brandon Nicholson. So every out is crucial. Runner does not go, pitch is outside.
Lacasse playing in on the turf here in the infield, preparing for that bunt.
Here's the pitch. Inside, and the count is 2-0. Quick delivery by Brandon Hillier. Trying to be mindful of getting that ball to the plate quickly. Luis Jean with lots of speed. Team's leader in stolen bases last season. 2-0 the count, does not go. And it's on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1.
Now that pitch being a strike, it's a huge shift in the possible outcome of this at bat. If this is a 3-0 count, it'd be a whole different approach.
Jean was ready to go, dancing around, and now Hillier steps off and looks him back. That looked like a stolen base attempt to me if Hillier came to the plate, and he was able to sniff that one out.
I didn't notice anything, but I wonder if Marcel Lacasse maybe gave him a little signal as Hillier's in the stretch looking towards the third base.
Backhead first. Jean with a pretty good lead on both of those last plays. Have to believe he's thinking stolen base here on a 2-1 pitch. Hillier works quickly though. Comes set. Does not go, and he's back head first with a slide. No limit to pickoff attempts here in the IBL. Hillier can check on him as many times as he wants. Gene with a fast feed at first base. There he goes. Pitch. Misses. Throw down. The tag, and he's out at second base. Luis Gene caught stealing, and there's one away.
That was a great release by Josh Cote, the Baycats catcher. As soon as the ball got out of his hand, that he had a great chance of getting the runner there. I'm not sure if Gene maybe didn't get the best jump that he wanted, but nonetheless, a great play by Cote.
5 stolen bases for Gene this season. He has now been caught just twice. Stole bases on a torrid pace last year for the Welland Jackfish.
And that's huge for Hillier. Now there's nobody on, and with nobody on, it's as little stress as you're going to be able to have on the mound.
Ball 4. Tossing the bat aside is Portulato. Well, you're right. It totally changes the makeup of this inning. But now the Jackfish get a runner back on base. So it would have been 2 on with nobody out. Now it's 1 on and 1 out. Infield can play at double play depth. But Gio Morello is no easy out. That is without saying. He has struck out in his last 2 at-bats. Garces got him twice. He did not face Souls. Hillier's first pitch it hit his foot. The runner was going to advance anyways. So now 2 on with 1 out.
Right fielder number 13, Brandon Nicholson.
Now even more stress on Hillier. The worst is when you have a runner on second base behind you and you're really conscious of tipping your pitches, having your catcher signals possibly being relayed. I mean, you don't really see that very often, but
I think you still got to play for the double play here rather than worry too much about the lead runner. Big lead off second by Portulato. He's going to take as much real estate as they give him. Hillier, though, you want to just focus on the batter primarily. You don't want to lose him with 2 on already.
Especially that Brandon Nicholson had that massive home run in the 3rd inning.
Not a strike. Fans were cheering. They thought that caught the corner. Jared Merkley hasn't given the hitters too many favors tonight on either side. 2-0 the count here to Brandon Nicholson. Battle of the Brandons. Pitch from Hillier. That'll catch the corner. 2-1. And Nicholson knows he's going to see something good to hit here on a 2-1 count. James Smybert on deck. Top of the 9th inning. Hillier's pitch. Strike 2. Put that exactly where he put the last one. And now Nicholson has to swing the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Portulato at second, Morello at first, 1 out. We're in the 9th.
Strong leads here for both runners.
Nicholson stays alive. Nicholson's 3-run homer in the 3rd inning brought Welland back from a 3-0 deficit early in the game, but looking back now, how pivotal that was. 4-4 tie here in the 9th. Pitch from Hillier. Lifted foul over the Barrie dugouts. Youngster almost had a great catch. Still got the ball, though. In and out of his glove, but didn't go too far away, and he's got a souvenir. has 4 strikeouts this season. A 5th here would be huge. To the belt. Cote puts down the target. He's up in the zone, and now he steps off. So he'll think about it and get set for another 2-2 pitch. This inning started with a single by Luis Jean. He was caught stealing. A walk to Portulato. Morello hit by a pitch. 2 on, 1 out. Pitch from Hillier. Swing and a foul tip. Catcher Cote could not hang on to it. He just got a piece. Count 2-2. Just glanced off the bat.
A ground ball here would be ideal for Hillier. 1 out, force play.
Checks the runner twice and now steps off. Looked like he was going to make a throw, but nobody was there. Brandon Hillier in no rush out there on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the belt, the leg kick, the pitch. And it's fouled away again. Great at bat here by Brandon Nicholson. The middle infield is Carson Burns and Adam Odd. Ground ball could get the Baycats off the field and a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hillier's pitch. Fouled again. What an at-bat this is shaping up to be.
Nicholson is working this at-bat beautifully.
A battle of 2 absolute horses out there. Brandon Hillier on the mound, taking his time, stepping off, checking the runners, doing everything to interrupt Nicholson's rhythm. Nicholson just getting a piece of everything at the plate, staying alive to work this count as deep as he can. The drama continues to build with each pitch. Hillier's 2-2, and it hit him. Second hit batter of the inning. After battling so hard, Nicholson's patience pays off as he gets plunked. And the go-ahead run is now 90 feet away.
Third baseman at number 23.
That's a heartbreaker for Hillier. That at-bat was just going on for so long, and that's not the way you want to let that at-bat slip away.
Well, the most frustrating thing this inning, there's only been 1 hit, and the guy who got on, Luis Jean, was caught stealing. Following that, a walk and 2 hit batters. And this is a Welland team that can kill you without giving them any free gifts. They've received 3 of them in this inning. Breaking pitch misses, and Hillier's behind James Smyber.
See Davy Mendez up in the bullpen for the Jackfish. Looks like he'll be the option for them to potentially close it out in the bottom of the 9th if Jackfish can get on the board.
Hillier has battled so hard out there on the mound in this inning, but he has painted himself into a corner here. A strike to Smybert. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded with Jackfish. Portulato at third, Morello at second, Nicholson at first. This one on the ground, and it's over the bag and into center field. It'll score at least 2. Picked up by Ejo, fired in, and it gets past the catcher and goes all the way to the backstop. 3-run score for the Jackfish. It's a 7-4 Welland lead. James Smybert coming up huge with a double to cash in 3.
Looked
like Smybert made a heads-up play there. He advanced on that throw home from Ejo, and even at the throw getting by Cote, I mean, that's a heartbreaker for Brandon Hillier.
And that'll send a good number of these fans to the parking lot and Highway 26. A 3-run Welland lead here in the 9th. Brandon Hillier, the pitcher of record here for the Baycats. This is Steve Moretto, Moretto homered in his last at bat.
Come back. That'd be actually that'd be cool, yeah.
The fans hanging in here obviously remember what happened on opening night against Toronto. They're not going anywhere.
I think Hillier should get.
Hillier behind. 2-0. Baycat bullpen quiet.
They're gonna give him one more guy.
Looks like someone's going to grab a ball and start throwing, though, before this game really gets out of reach.
Brad Grieveson in the Barrie Baycats bullpen.
Pitch to Moretto, and it's in the dirt.
We'll take him out. He's having a bad night.
Well, Hillier, as hard as he battled out there, really did himself no favors. The walk to Porcelado proved costly, especially after hitting the next two, Morello and Nicholson. Deep in the counts, I believe on both of them, he got 2 strikes, but just couldn't finish them off. And then 3 runs scoring on a double by James Smybert to put Welland on top. Ball 4.
This is turning into a disaster.
First base open anyway, so not necessarily catastrophic, but it brings Sam Cocker to the plate with 2 on.
Sam Cocker.
Josh Matlow takes the long, slow walk to the mound. Perhaps buying a little time for the bullpen.
Yeah, he's not going to.
He's going to take the ball. So a tough night for Brandon Hillier. He surrenders 3. And the Welland Jackfish will look to add to their 7-4 lead when we return. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. On the mound for the Baycats, the big veteran right-hander Brad Grieveson gets the ball. 4th Baycat pitcher of this ball game, taking over for Brandon Hillier here in the 9th. Needs 2 outs to get the Baycats off the field and back up to the plate. First pitch from Grieveson is a fastball for a strike.
Grieveson 1-0 so far this season in 3 appearances. 4 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts. Bit of a high ERA, but that'll come down with more innings this season.
A pop-up. Adam Odd with an easy catch. Out on the infield fly anyways with base runners aboard.
The left fielder, number 24, Hogan.
2 outs in the inning. Here's Hogan Brown, the left fielder. Grieveson likes to pound the strike zone with fastballs. He's not known to nibble around the edges of the plate, that's for sure. Gives you his best stuff and says, go ahead and hit it. Hogan Brown is 2 for 4 tonight. 2 on for the Jackfish here in the 9th. Pitch. Fastball misses away. Story of the game so far, a perfectly placed roller by James Smybert right up the middle of the infield that got into center field and scored 3 runs. Welland with their first lead of the game. 3 RBIs on that double by Smybert. 2-0 count to Hogan Brown. Breaking ball for a strike. It is 2-1.
Hogan Brown, a former D1 player at VCU, hit .298 over his 4 years in college.
Grieveson checks the runner. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it missed. Just a little low, 3-1. Grieveson's 4th appearance of the season, all of them in relief. 7 strikeouts and only 1 walk. 3-1 pitch. To the gap. It'll drop. That'll score a run. They're going to send around another. And in to score are James Smybert and Steve Moretto right behind him. 2 RBIs on the double by Hogan Brown. A 9-4 Jackfish lead.
Second baseman at number 9, Ethan Hunt.
This will be their 9th hitter of the inning for the Jackfish. Really another disheartening 9th inning for the Baycats in back-to-back ball games.
Yeah, 2 games in a row that they've allowed 5 runs in the 9th. 1 on the road and 1 here at home tonight. And there's absolutely no way to candy coat that.
Nobody up in the Baycats bullpen either, so this is looking like Brad Grieveson's game to finish.
The 5-run 9th in Kitchener cost them the lead and the game. The 5-run 9th tonight cost them a 4-4 tie and a chance to pull it out in the bottom of the inning. And the Baycats have got to find somebody to step up and get these crucial outs in the 9th inning. Chris Cox, the victim in Kitchener on Sunday afternoon. And tonight, Brendan Hillier and Brad Grieveson. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off at the plate. Off of the catcher. And it's 1-2. Ninth Jackfish to bat in this inning. It started with a single by Luis Jean that feels like it was an hour ago. And this game has now reached the 3-hour mark. 1-2 the count to Ethan Hunt. Grieveson checks the runner. Comes home. Lifted high. And it is going to be out of play. Over on the grass behind the seats. Count holds at 1-2. These 2 strike foul balls by the Jackfish tonight have given them a lot of extra chances and going deep into at-bats and getting extra base runners simply by protecting the plate and keeping the at-bats alive. We're seeing Ethan Hunt do it here on this 1-2 count. Pitch from Grieveson on the way. Called strike 3. Grieveson walks off the mound. The Baycats come off the field, and some work to be done as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Welland leads by 5. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It ain't over yet. The Baycats have some work to do, though, trailing by 5. It's a 9-4 Jackfish lead. James Anderson will lead it off here in the 9th.
Davy Mendez in to close it out here for the Jackfish. Hasn't allowed an earned run this year so far in 4 appearances. He's got 2 saves and a 1-0 record. Former prospect of the Rays, Pirates, and Padres. A lengthy minor league career, made it as high as A advanced.
Well, Brandon Hillier hadn't allowed an earned run until tonight either, so maybe the Baycats can flip that script on the Jackfish. And Davy Mendez. He is dealing some heat out there. Anderson couldn't catch up to that fastball. Could hear the sizzle on that one all the way up here. 1-2 pitch on the way from Mendez. Swing and a miss. Anderson down on strikes.
There's no catching up to that heat. Very much a surprise seeing that kind of velocity compared to what we've seen so far in this ballgame. Mendez is fantastic closer here for the Jackfish. I was skeptical. I think they might have been skeptical once they scored those 5 runs in the 9th whether they were going to use them or not, but
here's the first pitch to Marcelo Cass, and he got a piece of it. 0-1. Nothing but fastballs here from Davy Mendez. Another one, swing and a miss. Baycats just can't catch up to that heater. And as long as it's working for you, you may as well keep going to it. Bottom of the order here, Carson Burns is on deck. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns.
And here's Carson Burns, the last bullet for the Baycats here in the 9th. Burns tonight 1 for 3. Well, you know you're going to see a fastball and nothing but fastballs until somebody makes contact here. So at least you know what you're getting. No deceptiveness here at all for Davy Mendez. He's just bringing everything he's got, straight gas.
yeah, I don't think he's pretty much showing his cards. I mean, he's pumping all fastballs so far, and all the Baycats need to do is just catch up to it.
Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Davy Mendez looks like he's just on another level right now. Oh, 2. Called strike 3. Burns frozen at the plate. Not happy about it, but no use protesting. He's done, and so are the Baycats here tonight. A 9-4 final in favor of the Welland Jackfish. And again, a catastrophic 9th inning, the story of this game here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Not what you want to see late in the game. Sometimes the Baycats are great offensively. Didn't really see it there. Actually, an immaculate inning there from Davy Mendez. 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. But Baycats not getting what they want from their bullpen in the late innings, either tonight or on Sunday in Kitchener. And that'll be the story going forward this weekend.
Big 3-run home run by Brandon Nicholson, one of the big stories of this game tonight for the Jackfish. And how about the pitching of Brandon Underhill, who will pick up the win in relief of Scott Gillespie, who also pitched very well. After the Baycats got 3 off him in the first, he settled down nicely. Underhill came on in relief and retired a string of 9 in a row before turning the ball over to Mendez, who finished it off with 3 straight strikeouts here in the bottom of the 9th inning. So the Welland Jackfish come out on top of this one tonight by a score of 9-4. A reminder, we're back here Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock for the Kitchener Panthers. Come on out to the ballpark and enjoy some baseball, or join us here on Baycats TV and Rogers TV. For Julius, Hern, and our entire Baycat TV crew, I'm Ben Davy. Good night from Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater.